The station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
Tonight on DC News Now at 6, a 13-year-old girl forcefully pulled from a Metro bus in the district. The new details about the frightening ordeal and what police discovered in the case. And militants marching toward Russia's capital. Tonight, that private army halted. The latest international implications as scrutiny intensifies of the Kremlin's invasion of Ukraine. And today marks the one-year anniversary since constitutional abortion rights were overturned. How demonstrators in the DMV feel 1 year later, we hear from both sides. Good evening and thank you for joining us for DC News Now at 6. I'm Ben Dennis, and tonight we are seeing risks of scattered storms in our area. Our meteorologist Scott Sumner has a closer look at what we can expect. Scott, how are things looking right now? I know that there are several storms across the DMV.
Yeah, there are a couple out there, Ben, and there are not too many, but thankfully so. And most of the viewing area is on the quiet side. But let's take a look at our radar scope, and you'll be able to see quite nicely. This is one of them. This has actually prompted a marine warning for the Chesapeake Bay as it moves out in that direction. See a lot of lightning out that way. This strong thunderstorm was located near Flag Harbor. It's moving east at about 10 to 15 miles an hour, and it could have some wind gusts up to around 30 or 35 miles an hour with this particular storm as it exits the land and it moves out of Calvert County. Now, a little further to the south and the west in one of our southern viewing areas, Spotsylvania County, you can see a little bit of a green arrow there that is indicating that the city of Snell will be impacted here with this particular storm over the next 10 to 15 minutes or so. Well, that one is moving out of and slowly about 15 miles an hour to the south and southeast, and will eventually be moving out of that county here in just about an hour's time. So otherwise, we're looking pretty quiet across the board. Yeah, a couple of storms around Cockeysville area north of Baltimore, but really, thankfully so, we've escaped any major widespread outbreak of storms. And right now, a live look in here from our roof cam shows that we do have some clouds out there, but no storms in the district at this point in time. However, like I said, a couple of storms will linger here over the next hour or so and then move away, and we should be quiet thereafter unless some redevelop. Temperatures will be in the 70s, eventually dropping down into the 60s. Your full 7-day forecast coming up. Ben?
Thanks, Scott. New video tonight out of the district where Metro Police released footage of a 13-year-old girl forcefully removed from a Metro bus late last night. Take a look at the video on your screen. Just before midnight, a man got on this bus at the Anacostia bus bay, grabbed the girl as she fights back. You can see here. And then she is pulled off of the bus entirely. Well, tonight, police say the girl is safe, and investigators had followed this case and found that she's safely in the custody of her parents, and they found no abduction had occurred, they say. Metro will launch a new program tomorrow aimed at improving safety for bus passengers. Our Dave Laval joins us live from the Fort Totten Metro station with a preview of the new effort to ensure riders feel safe. Dave, tell us about what you found.
Well, right now you can only get off at a bus stop along the route, but come Sunday night, there'll be another option. Metro Bus will offer courtesy stops between 9 p.m. and 5 a.m. Passengers will be able to get off between bus stops along the route closer to their destination. They simply notify the driver where they want to get off the bus once they board it. The courtesy stops will not happen, though, along busy highways, approaching intersections, or locations without a curb or place of safety. WMATA, which operates the bus service, said in a news release, this is to help passengers feel safer. The courtesy stops are not available on limited stop and express Metro bus routes. Coming up on our late news starting at 9 o'clock, passengers share their thoughts about the new courtesy stops, and you'll also hear concerns about the new service. For now, though, we're live at the Fort Totten Metro station. Dave Laval, DC News Now.
Looking forward to that report. Thank you, Dave. Happening now, today marks 1 year since the U.S. Supreme Court ruled to overturn Roe v. Wade. The decades-old case had protected abortion access for women across the country. But right now, the Biden administration is working to bring back some protections. Yesterday, the president signed an executive order to increase access to contraception and family planning. It ensures access to birth control through private health insurance and calls for improved access to over-the-counter birth control. 25 million women live in states where local laws make it more difficult to get an abortion. Since last year, 25 states have moved to ban or severely restrict access to abortions. A new poll published by NPR found that nearly 60% of people oppose the decision to overturn that landmark ruling. Another new poll from nonprofit Kaiser Family Foundation surveyed OBGYNs. 64% of those professionals say the ruling has increased pregnancy-related deaths. Meantime, abortion has been protected in 20 states, including here in the DMV. In Maryland, access is protected by law. Abortion is legal up to the point of fetal viability or if the life of the mother is in danger. According to Planned Parenthood, abortion is legal in Virginia up to 27 weeks of pregnancy. West Virginia, however, has a near total ban on abortion. Stick with us in our next half hour. We are highlighting the fight on Capitol Hill over this very issue. And earlier today in the district, anti-abortion activists gathered outside the Lincoln Memorial to make their voices heard. We spoke to several people at the event about what the overturning of Roe v. Wade meant to them. This is what they had to say.
It marks the greatest expansion for preborn rights in my lifetime. There's still a lot of work to be done, but it's just a day to celebrate life and the future that we can have where life is protected from conception and natural death.
But we need to support the women that have had abortions. A lot of them were so pressured into it, you can't really fault them for making that decision. Their boyfriend will leave them or their father will kick them out of the house. There's a lot of reasons they go through. It's not just that they don't care about babies.
And turning now, a teenager in Prince William County is facing attempted murder charges after police say he deliberately hit an officer with a car. The officer is recovering in the hospital after suffering serious injuries. There are plenty of unanswered questions tonight, but DC News Now's Lex Juarez reports from Woodbridge with more.
Well, let me show you where it happened. The officer was walking up to a parked car and the driver, our suspect, sped off, turned the car around in the cul-de-sac and then drove right at the officer. Now he hit the officer, knocking him back into the street here and then lost control of the car, flipping it and hitting this car right here. Right after that, the suspect got out of the car and ran away.
Cops everywhere. All I thought was, wow, something big must be going on.
This is what Oust Lane looked like right after the hit and run. Neighbors rushed outside to see what was going on.
And I just heard a bang outside, and I looked out my window, and there was a car flipped over on its side, and I at first thought it was an accident, came out, and then next thing you know, there was a bunch of cops and somebody running down the street.
That person, 18-year-old Valmiki Chandler, had been running from police for about an hour after allegedly stealing a car at a 7-Eleven just 5 miles away. An officer spotted the stolen car and was walking up to it when Chandler hit the gas, turned the car around, and then drove into the officer, sending him to the hospital with a serious head injury.
I viewed the body-worn camera footage that the officer was wearing last night. He was definitely one targeted and definitely struck at a high rate of speed and forcibly knocked back.
The officer did try to stop the car by shooting at it, but was unsuccessful. Chandler ran away from the scene and was taken into custody over 2 hours later, found by undercover officers a few miles away.
More than likely had probably tried to hunker down a little bit until he thought the coast was clear.
Well, the officer who was hit is expected to make a full recovery as far as that body-worn camera footage. It'll be up to Police Chief Newsham on whether or not it's released. In Dale City, I'm Lex Juarez, DC News Now.
Some stunning video there. Thank you, Lex. Developing now out of Montgomery County, where police need your help identifying suspects in a tobacco store robbery that happened last Wednesday. Montgomery County police released security video showing the suspects backing their car into the front door, the glass shattering there. It happened at the Tobacco King on Woodfield Road. The 3 suspects then smashed displays, steal money and merchandise before running off. Their car, a silver Hyundai sedan, was found to be stolen from Germantown. A $10,000 reward is offered for any tips that lead to arrests. Meanwhile, in Russia, we're learning about a halted march on Moscow by mercenaries from the Wagner Group, the private army fighting for Russia in Ukraine. The march was stopped only 120 miles from the country's capital, with the commander of the group saying he wanted to avoid, quote, shedding Russian blood. The commander also spoke out against members of President Vladimir Putin's government, including the defense minister and chief of general staff, for attacks against the Wagner group, reportedly. And Putin has called the move treason, promising repercussions. Meanwhile, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky called Putin scared and said Moscow was suffering full-scale weakness. We'll bring you updates as we learn more. And there are talks about moving DC pro teams out of Capital One Arena and into the Commonwealth of Virginia. According to a report from the Washington Post, Ted Leonsis and his ownership group have been in talks with Virginia officials about moving the Capitals, Wizards, and Mystics possibly into Northern Virginia. The Post also states that representatives from Monumental Sports and Entertainment have been having talks about a possible arena site in Arlington near Amazon's new second headquarters development in the National Landing area. The Wizards and Caps and Mystics have all been playing games at Capital One Arena since its opening in 1997. And in an effort to help people who may need a helping hand with getting back on their feet, one nonprofit in Frederick called Second Chances Garage is making sure that that is possible. Our Michaela Newton shows us how.
Second Chances Garage is a nonprofit organization that takes old cars that people voluntarily give away so other people that need a car have them. The cars usually have under 200,000 miles, are refurbished and given away to people like Candace Pearson. Pearson says this is her very first car. Before receiving this 2004 Toyota Corolla, she says she's been using different ways to get around.
Ubers and rides from friends. Ubers are expensive. It was costing me like $140 a week, but I had to get to and from work somehow.
Second Chance Garages has given away 15 cars so far this year, but they do say that they have a goal of 36 vehicles that they want to give away to recipients. Now, since the organization started, they've given away 320 vehicles total. Through their low-cost vehicle program, people pay less than $1,000. And when the car needs a tune-up, Second Chances Garage charges about half the labor rate of what other shops charge.
If you don't own a car, it's difficult to get a better job because you're depending on buses, Ubers, and it's expensive. You can better yourself by getting a car, better job, and transportation.
Largely, I've been working with Candy for the past month or two, giving them coupon codes, rideshare coupon codes, and that access their basic needs to, for employment, to, other transportation basic needs.
Having this car means a lot to me. I get to go take my daughter out, which I've never been able to do, and I'm excited. It's a new beginning.
Reporting in Frederick, Maryland, Michaela Newton, DC News Now.